Hey there, guys. So, a very common question I get is whether to cut or bulk. Now, a lot of people that ask me this question, they're not even, training consistently. And at the end of the day, if you're going to decide to cut or bulk, it's better off to first of all train for a good solid month or two before you start making any real decisions. And there's two reasons for it. If you're just trying to find the motivation to go to gym and get, physically healthier, stronger, add a bit more quality muscle mass. If you're going to do that while trying to heavily cut, you're going to run out of motivation pretty quick. And if you run out of motivation and you're not used to training, chances are you will not stick to it. So, very long term, you're not going to achieve what you want, and you'll just fall, off the bandwagon and never get where you want to be. And that happens to a lot of people, and they never change how they look, or get healthier, get stronger, achieve the goals that they wanted to do. So, on the flip side, if you're going to go with bulking, a lot of people then, they just start eating everything. They go to the gym again for that first month, 2 months. Their motivation at times can drop off, and they're just left, heavier than what they first started, and not necessarily in a good way. So if I was, giving advice, which I'm doing now, it would simply be look at your diet and keep a track of what you're eating, good and bad. It's just for yourself, just be honest and just track it. You don't have to show anyone, but you need to sort of know what your macros are, what you're eating, and that way you can make a very well, informed decision as to which direction you need to go. If you're heavily overweight, then a cut is going to be ideal, but at the same time, you don't want to launch into something overly drastic because you drop your training motivation and you're not going to get where you want to be. A few simple, lifestyle, changes is going to have a huge impact on your weight loss as opposed to following a really hard, strict diet. Now, what would I, class as like a lifestyle change? If you're someone that eats out a lot, and it's just what you do, you catch up with friends, you go and eat, and that's your main style of socializing. Let's take, a meal for example. If it's takeaway, instead of getting a large meal, just go with something like a medium or a small. At the end of the day, you're still there with your friends, you're still enjoying yourself, but the amount of calories you've just eaten is far, far less than what you would normally otherwise do. If you can make a habit of, getting a smaller meal, getting more entree size, if you're on a diet, things like that, you can still enjoy the social aspects. You're not ruining your social life in that regard, but you are heavily restricting the amount of unwanted calories you're going to put into your system. Again, if you're trying to bulk, going out with friends and the rest of it, don't necessarily always go for the large meals, this, that, and the other. You want to have quality food. You want to spread your calories out, throughout the day where possible. If you're just having a few big meals, there's only so much your body can process effectively. And there's going to be times, again, where your blood sugar level is going to drop and you're going to be hungry and you're going to eat again regardless. So it's sort of like spread your meals out. Being in a slight surplus is going to help with recovery, but you're not going to put on heaps of body fat, as you're bulking. And that's something a lot of people get wrong when they're bulking. They just eat absolutely everything, and yeah, they just gain a whole stack of weight, and then they're not happy at the end of the day. So yeah, with your weight gain, just keep it moderate. You also need to look long term. If you want to make really good quality changes, block out the year in terms of different training parts that you want to do. You might go with 3 months of, say, maintenance style calories, 3 months on a slight cut, 3 months at maintenance, 3 months at a slight cut. Now, this is someone, that's trying to be consistent with gym and, really try and change their life. They haven't been at it for ages. Once you've been training for a long time, and you're going to stick with it regardless, if you have slightly higher body fat levels and you're not sure what to do, always go for a cut. That's my opinion. Because one, yes, you're going to be leaner and you're going to feel better long term, but all the other health reasons that go with being leaner just makes, more sense. So when you're leaner, your body's going to produce more testosterone, you've got less body fat, so you're going to produce less estrogen. So that's just, a huge, plus in itself. You're going to be healthier from a hormonal standpoint and an endocrine standpoint. So then when you do decide to go and bulk and, add quality muscle mass, you're going to have an easier time doing it, and you're going to put on less total body fat as well. Also, when you're leaner, the amount of work the rest of your body has to do is far, far less. You're not carrying around, extra unusable weight, which is going to sap your energy throughout the day. So for me, I need to soon do a cut. I'm really close to the goals that I want to, and I need to make it back down to my weight class. But being heavier, yeah, there's some days where it's just like my work day is just more tiring simply because I'm heavier. I definitely remember what it was like being lighter. There's just certain tasks you do and it just doesn't really take any energy at all, and you don't, think about it before you have to go and do the task. Versus if you've packed on a bit more body fat, you're heavier, you're sore from training, there's certain things and you think twice, do I have to do this now? You really have to be more motivated if you're carrying around the extra weight, versus when you're leaner and fitter and healthier, there's certain things that you won't second guess. You'll be like, yep, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need to do that. And as a whole, you're more productive. And you'll see it, in a construction-based work setting many times. People that are fitter and healthier are just going to move quicker, and they're just going to get the job done generally, quicker because, they can. There's obviously exceptions to the rule, but I'm just talking in generalizations at this point in time. Also, once you're leaner, bulking up and having clear goals makes a very big difference. I wouldn't try and bulk excessively. You always want to stay within like a healthy body fat percentage. Some people like to go really extreme with the bulk and then have a drastic cut. I've never found that's worked well. I just find a more moderate approach is more achievable because there's things in life that get in the way. Again, if you've been training a very, very long time and you need to cut, I'd probably make the cutting time a lot quicker, and it'd be a harder cut as opposed to someone that's very new to training. That's simply because you're going to stick with it. You can take the mindset of, this is 6 to 8 weeks of a really hard cut. It's going to get me from point A to point B, and once I'm there, I'm going to eat at maintenance calories. I'm going to regain a bit more of my strength, and then you can go for another, cutting phase. Versus someone that's just getting, used to gym and the rest of it, a more moderate style cut is going to be a better way of going about it because you derail their motivation and they never get where they want to be. So you need to keep that in mind. And in terms of like going higher protein, things like that, yes, ideally, more protein is going to be more beneficial, not only to recovery, but it will also generally, not always, but generally keep you feeling full. And protein and other foods that go alongside of it, if you're eating quality food, you're going to have less total insulin spikes, which means your blood sugar levels are going to be more stable. The more stable your blood sugar levels are, the less you're going to want to crave, sugar and sweets. If you can manage your insulin levels effectively, losing weight or gaining weight becomes very, very easy because you're not an emotional eater. You're not stuck in the cycle of, I feel really, really tired, or I'm really, really down, I'm going to go eat something. If you can avoid that, you're going to have so much more success than a lot of other people that, emotionally eat or just can't control their blood sugar levels. And that's where, being fitter, healthier, and leaner, so going on a cut first and getting all those your hormones, your endocrine system, all those sort of parameters set first is going to make it very, very achievable and sustainable to long-term success when it comes to gym, because you just have more total control over your body without necessarily, having to invest a whole lot more extra effort into it, and the lifestyle changes become very easy. So that's just my take on it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below, hit like and subscribe, and have a great day wherever you are.